Welcome back, everyone, to Fall Series APAC. We're ready for our second match of the night. It will be another drop match. We'll have another team dropping down from APAC. It's going to be between the two teams. I mean, the first one was very exciting, but it was a 3-0. But this one sure cannot be a 3-0. I'm expecting at least 4 or even a 5 map on this one. Yes, because I think the power level from these two teams are actually a lot more matching. But it does depend because we're on different paths compared to the early last week. So there's been at least how many days?
At least like
7 plus 2 plus 1 is 10.
And I thought you were a math major. I thought you were a math major, G-Clef.
That's why
Texas, are you shamming me?
That's why Texas Instrument makes a lot of money, man.
Okay.
We need calculators in our world.
All right, but I do agree with you, G-Clef. Coming back to the game, these are a little bit, I think, more evenly matched, especially if you even look at their performances on the Open Tournament, which they qualified from. Fade was 4th, came out 4th from the Southeast Asian Open Tournament, and NGU-K came out 3rd from East Asia. So I think a little bit of a more even matchup than the previous match, but you never know, because right now, from our first match, we've seen that both teams on the first match wanted to play on the previous patch meta. Yes. So maybe if one team decides, hey, we can actually make Zarya Genji work, and then they go against the Orisa Torbjorn composition that we've been seeing last match, they might actually have a chance.
And both teams should have tried at least a decent amount with the time that was given. And since the patch did hit a while ago, in the regular client that you guys all play in Overwatch 2. So here's a roster for Fade. Shake it, HYE, High, going to be DPS, and both teams actually just having a solo tank. Might come to bite them when we're talking Zarya, because Zarya, we don't, not in the recent times, the main tank's really playing that hero at all for the last years of Overwatch, basically. So it'll be interesting if either one of them even plays Zarya today.
Hey, but to be fair, I think Carmen is a little bit of more of a flick off tank player, so maybe might have that experience of playing Zarya back in the day. So maybe if they bring out the memory from the old days, maybe that's gonna work. But here is your NGU-K roster. Kame hope we will not be seeing KA924 for the starting map here. Tomato will be starting. Tomato was starting last match as well, and then you have Remedy and Maoli starting as your starting 2 supports.
So I'm having higher chances I'm feeling higher chances for NGU-K to actually have the Genji, coming from a lot more Ana in use from the support line from NGU-K. As we will again go to Busan, chosen by the comp op as Summer Soldier. I do expect some Torbjorn to come out from either team, but honestly, unless you're really top-notch, great with the shots, not just the Molten Core. Molten Core is it's a pretty, I would say it's a pretty easy ultimate compared to the other ultimates.
Well, yes, but to me, for the issue is this about the Torbjorn and the Mei that also comes out in this map as well. My issue is this: Torbjorn and Mei are very conditional. They. Yes, they are good picks. I will not deny that they are good picks.
Even more than Hanzo?
Look, Hanzo's out of the issue for me, alright? But
just I tried to budget Hanzo in there, but I failed, guys, okay? All the Hanzo players don't feel
Remember,
bad.
G-Clef is a Hanzo main.
Unknown does not like Hanzo.
But I'm a Hanzo hater. No, excuse me, I'm not. But anyways, the thing about the Mei. Oh, all right, you kind of hypnotized me into Hanzo over there. But anyways,
you're going back to the point.
Both the Torbjorn and the Mei, they were both stronger picks, and their ultimates have more value when they are on the defensive side of things. So if you have control of the point and your opponent has to come to you, then your ultimates actually have more value. But if you're on the attacking side and you have to go to the enemy, then your ultimates may be very less in value. So that's my issue. And if you look at the side of Fade, I am expecting a Zarya Genji here. I'm excited, G-Clef.
Kyren with the Zarya. Hi, the swap into Genji.
There it is!
We already have it on the first map, Busan, and NGU-K responding with Echo in the air, so actually not too bad on their side either.
Yeah, so both teams this time, the same map with match 1, but both teams are going with compositions that are actually pretty strong on the meta. And oh, we get first blood on the side of NGU-K. Hope lasering down HYE over there.
I think was trying to go slightly deeper as we'll just have the neutral fight going heavily towards NGU-K. As now it will just be a cleanup duty with just few remaining on the ground. Kyren actually lost pretty late. So
Yeah.
Shaken actually changes back to now Soldier.
I think
Genji.
Soldier is okay because remember, the difference between the Sojourn and the Soldier 76 is that yes, the Sojourn has a better pick potential with that charged railgun headshot. However, the primary fire is not that good for tracking. But if NGU-K is main threat is going to be the Echo, then you need that source of tracking, and Soldier 76 can provide that for you.
Yeah, that is exactly. Well, I thought Kami got the kill, but it was instead Tomato Javelin from the back, helping out his teammates.
Down again.
But soon that Nano is coming, but Blade is nowhere nearby. It is only hitting 40% now.
Yeah, so I think the main issue is that I've been talking about the Zarya Genji comp all day right now, but how it should work is that Genji should be in line of sight of Zarya so that it can be the recipient of the bubble. But right now, if Genji's dying this fast, then this means that it's not getting the bubbles.
Yeah, Hope is having way too much fun.
Where's the bubble?
Must have popped early, and Kai is gone again, and that Nano was used already? Why did I not get to see that too much?
I saw the Nano being on the Genji. I assumed that it was applied to the Genji just for like boosting High to get that Nano Blade online because he was so much behind in that ult charge. Yes, eventually High did get a lot of ult charge from that damage boost. However, it did not lead into any meaningful kills, and also it did not bait a lot of ultimates from the side of NGU-K. So NGU-K with 90% on the board for play A should be in a good position to defend.
Oh, the barrier. Oh, not gonna help out. Genji's already dead. Even the visor, the graviton, everything used near the point. But the result coming back is actually the opposite. NGU-K losing no members against those 3 ultimates, keeping 99%, and we were having overtime just for a few more extra seconds. But it seems like that's going to be it. Genji comes back, but immediately does not get to have that blade 99%, 1% off. Oh no.
What a performance from NGU-K. I think the Echo pick really worked wonders for them there because right now, I think it's a combination of NGU-K playing really well and Fade not being able to coordinate the Zarya Genji that well as well. So if you look at, if you just like kind of take the time to explain how this works here, High should not be dying this fast. That means either High is in a bad position where he's not be able to receive those barriers, or NGU-K is providing enough pressure for Zarya to use the bubble to other members of the team, so there's no bubbles available for the Genji to take. So I think, okay, credit to NGU-K. For Fade, we start new, we just clean slate, and we are doing it again. But this time, we're going to the Sigma, and High is moving away from the Genji.
Oh yes, to follow your point, which basically meant it wasn't working in the first map. So they change into Sigma to match, but Kame with the Widow from the side. Quick turret hits. Oh, was not able to bring it down, but finally,
at least they took the turret.
And here's High. Quick shot on the Soldier. Now, different story. Fade getting some early kills.
I was on that overload and just like zero range, just shooting at the Soldier there. We'll be able to get that numbers advantage for that flip real quick. So
still few members alive off to the side, so not too bad.
Fade already having that point flip, and still no ultimates on either side, so it's going to be a second neutral fight. But Fade should be able to be very happy because they can be a little bit forward without too much pressure on the Sigma.
Great dodge coming down from Hope. Still keeping that soldier alive. I don't think Hope died yet on this map. As the soldier providing some DPS in, and here is
Kame needs to make a pick in order to make this work right now, or they can wait until Tomato has the Gravitic Flux, but the problem is that Fade will be able to match the speed of the Gravitic Flux and be able to respond, and being on the same terms is a little bit risky for NGU-K because the point is in Fade's control right now. Oh, Kyron very low. Kyron taken down by Tomato. This may be the opportunity. They don't even need to use the Gravitic Flux. So this is an opportunity for NGU-K because not only did they regain control of the point, but because Kyron fell early in that fight, NGU-K will be having the only team that has the Gravitic Flux. And they, although it's a very slim window because Kyron is at 88% and counting for the Gravitic Flux, they have this very small window where they can just win the fight with just a Gravitic Flux.
So that will be Tomato trying to hide himself. And Kame
No
trying to
one
have
can
some drag
hide
shots.
from my sight. The breeze brings relief.
And there's a headshot.
Oh, so
And it
that
does
was
not lead into extra kills, but still the visor was enough to get one. Maybe one more.
Kyron decides to go with the aggression first, despite being a
field
member
gone.
down. Tomato is very low. Tomato needs to survive if they want to counter down. Tomato with the own Gravitic Flux. Will they be able to make that matter? It looks like it will be because Hope has that follow-up damage. However, NGU-K has low members on the board. They are down. Only 3 members remaining. However, point is still in the control of NGU-K. It looks like Fade will be able to clean up.
Yeah, I think one more member. Both DPS up from NGU-K.
Oh no! But Hope able to take down Shake It, so point is still in NGU-K's control. And remember, G-Cliff, this is 85% and counting.
And
So this
Kyron-
may be final fight territory.
Yeah, Kyron actually took a very long time to come in. Must have waited for the teammates to come back. And here's a full fight already here. Kiriko runs it forward.
They need to make this. They need to get value out of this ultimate because there's no kills whatsoever. Maybe, yes, they did zone out NGU-K, but remember, Kame has, with that Widowmaker, has a one-shot kill potential, and there is that kill!
Your surroundings.
And that's how you outburst.
So that's 2 members, 3 members down on the side of Fade. NGU-K will, yes, Kyron will be using that Gravitic Flux, but will not be living long enough to make that slam happen. And 93%, Fade needs to touch real fast, and that's why High is going to the
3%,
Desperation
2,
Tracer just for the
1.
touch. And
No
that is
one.
not gonna happen.
On the point! And NGU-K delivers once again. And that will be map number 1.
Well, Fade was interesting because Fade had Fade just thought, I think with the Genji composition, they kind of wanted to show that, hey, we've studied, we did our homework, we understand what the meta is, and they wanted to go with the Zarya Genji comp. However, in downtown, it didn't work at all. Genji did not have a single blade the entire round, and also in Sanctuary, I think NGU-K has a better understanding of what their win conditions are, and even with Kame not being able to find early picks early on in the map, like the likes of Tomato and also the other members of NGU-K did their jobs enough, and by the end of the map, Kame made those crucial picks so that they delayed it Fade enough so that they had to go into desperation mode, and NGU-K, they just profited out of it.
I think there were certainly moments, but in terms of, I have to credit the DPS line from NGU-K. I think they're slightly positioning better and also coming up as a surprise, dominating over the opponent DPS, leading into instant kill, making it into a 3v5 sometimes, or just getting those early surprising kills. And High and Shake It, they were just unprepared often. When there were those surprise attacks coming from Hope and Kame, indeed, such great work, especially on the second map. Of course, the first map, I think the Echo must have done about 40% damage of the entire team.
Exactly.
That was an insane Echo play.
And it's not like NGU-K did not follow the meta as well, because like you said, G-Clef, the Orisa is still viable, And I think the important part is that they have the Sojourn, and with the Echo, it's very viable, and it proves that it's effective against Fade right now. So what's working is really good.
So far, 1-0 for ahead for NGU-K versus Fade, but we'll see what happens in map number 2. We will be back real soon. And welcome back, everyone, to Fall Series APAC. We're heading into our Heartbeat map number 2. But so far, it does seem very one-sided for NGU-K as they are certainly having their moments, especially the DPS line we do have to keep on highlighting.
Yeah, NGU-K, I prepared this joke for 3 minutes. They are...
What? Okay, I'm ready.
They are making Fade out of existence right now. I'm sorry for the bad joke.
Maybe you need more time. I think we need a longer break. Production, can we add 10 more minutes? I'll take 10 more minutes.
You probably need more than 10 minutes to make me have a viable joke. I'm a bad joker. I know that. I just gave it a try. But hey, I just want to come back to your point. Yes, I definitely have to credit NGU-K and their DPS lineup for outclassing, at least on Busan, on the side, like on their DPS counterparts on Fade. High, yes, we've seen great moments from both High and Shake It on previous matches and also in the open tournament. However, in this current meta, they need to figure out what they can do really well. Maybe, I've been talking about the meta and Zarya Genji the entire day, but if it doesn't work for you, you might want to even go back to the previous patch because Invincibles made it happen, and why can't Fade?
Like, how far back are you willing to go? Like, are we
back to a
hit
single
scans?
patch, maybe, I think, because Orisa is still viable in both the current patch and the previous patch, so maybe you want to do a little bit of that, but I can see that Fate definitely did their homework because not only they're just trying to pick Zarya and Genji, they also kind of they picked King's Row, which makes sense because if they think that NGU-K can make the Zarya Genji work, then King's Row is a good pick. But if they are the ones that want to pick Genji and Zarya, this might be a questionable one.
So we'll go into King's Row. We'll have those answers real soon, but to grab your point and continue on, I think it's somewhat required for you to go back to your comfort pick if it's just not working. So we'll continue and see who comes out on top as we go into another section of King's Row that we don't really get to see.
Well, I mean, that's the observers are so good at finding good good parts of the map, right? Because usually when we play the game, we only see where you are and the enemies are. Oh, there's that Hanzo that you've been looking for so much, G-Clef. How do you feel?
Don't worry.
Don't worry. It'll shoot an arrow, it'll shoot a sonic arrow, and then it'll disappear.
Probably not. Maybe Molly, because that's Kami's job. That's Kami's job to shoot that single bullet and get pulled by Molly, and they both swap.
I see that Winston, so I don't really have full trust, but we'll see. Kami should make the dive comp swap, I guess. But along with Hanzo, there should be, I think there are better heroes to pair up with.
I think it does make a little bit sense because they think that it might be a Sigma.
Genji.
Okay, never mind.
As we actually have double Genji with Zarya now. Let's see who comes out on top. It is King's Row.
So both teams are going with the Zarya Genji meta composition, with the only difference being the Ashe and the Sojourn.
Oh, so much shurikens flying in the air. Let's see. Okay, Lil Ko being somewhat covered by both Zarya is very low. Kyren not being healed at the moment.
Tomato getting a lot more sustain here, and High taken down means that a lot of real estate is going to be taken on the side of NGU-K. Yes, Loco is taken down as well, but the positional advantage is on the side of NGU-K. And also remember, the spawn is a lot closer on the side of NGU-K.
Oh,
so
24,
you will
23.
have NGU-K will have their Genji back real quick.
Yeah, the Kyren's and a pretty good anti-nade too on the entire team. Kyren's Zarya has been very eco-friendly all this time, and there she goes. Not much power compared to Tomato. What was that? Full, actually, all the way up to 100 gauge, filling up to the maximum. The extra push, just hey, guys, the payload. Okay, someone's there now, touching it. Because when you expect someone, especially the support or the Ana most of the time, to have the payload, but sometimes when you have the momentum, no one's actually touching the payload.
So I think what's really important for NGU-K right now is that they pressured Fade out long, like to the extent that they just went over the arc, and what a good kill from
That's
High.
2-0.
The Loco onto High over there. That means Fade has to give up a little bit more ground, and so I think they have to concede up all the way up to the corner. And with 4 minutes and 30 seconds on, and with 2 kills on NGU-K, NGU-K are not even using ultimates here, G Club, and this means that might be that Fade has to retreat all the way up to maybe the last corner of point B.
And this payload is not being stopped because the rest of the team, they're actually pushing all the way to point 3, the 3rd point already.
Oh
so,
dear.
At least spending 2.
NGU-K has 5 ultimates. Yes, the good news is that Fade is also approaching 5 ultimates, but the only reason that Fade has 5 ultimates is because they were not allowed to use it because they were losing fights left and right.
Okay, ultimates. And Nano Blade is here for High. Gonna find a couple and an extra, but NGU-K held all the ultimates, did not have to use any. So Fade not that bad either, just the Nano Blade, still keeping the rest.
Okay, Fade finally stabilizing things, but remember, NGU-K already capped point B. They have all the time in the world. They have almost 5 minutes and 5 ultimates on the line, on the board to make this happen. Yes, also against, for the side of Fade, they have the Graviton Surge, but it does not affect the Genji. Lilko has a kill.
Okay, good bubble to cover from Kyren. So no further kill, just 1.
But Tomato has his Graviton Surge of his own. But Kame decides to use his first, but taken down, so denied. So maybe it's a decision where if Tomato wants to use his ultimate, but Tomato is very, very low. He has high energy, so maybe wants to go for it, and he does! And High taken down. That's a lot of damage taken away from Fade, and followed up by Mali's.
They do want to finish this one up, actually. Spent a lot of those ultimates. Fade actually keeping it handy. That Tomato grabbing just the Genji to remove the damage, but of course the respawns are just so much quicker.
The rally is also invested on the side of NGU-K, so they actually wanted to end this, but remember, Fade don't have ultimates, NGU-K don't have ultimates. If you look at the neutral fight, as of what we've seen from the past few minutes, NGU-K is very confident that they can win the neutral fight.
And the final point from King's Road can be very tough. We need to win big times, at least twice in a row, to hit that final mark. So here is Fade holding the point, the final corner, before we go into the straight. And
High taking down once again. High is not having a good day today, so that is going to be a lot of damage and a lot of space being conceded.
Nano on Kyren.
Kyren at 96 energy, so this is a big DPS threat. NGU-K needs to back off. Local is also down. Oh, but Hajima is down as well, so this may be a window of opportunity. Maybe NGU-K wants to commit. I think they do because Kame is using the Bob, and Remedy has that Nano maybe to use on Tomato, but not yet.
All the way back, which sometimes helps for Zarya.
Okay, Tomato is on low energy, so
Kame's
probably not.
Kame's gone. So within that time,
Loco taking down of Shake It, so once again, NGU-K will be having the positional advantage.
Loco, no dragon yet.
Now he dies!
Later. And just in time, the entire team wipe.
But the Dragon Blade...
Dragon Blade didn't really do much. It reset the Swift Strike. That was mostly it.
I mean, to be fair, it wasn't his fault because all his opponents were dead. He had no one to strike.
So at the second point, I counted the clock. They actually had up to 5 minutes and 23 seconds after the second mark.
So they had more time than when they started the map. Like that was a toxic replay.
And that was it? That's the only highlight replay? Okay, I guess we don't have that much time. We have to flip side now as Fade strikes. They get the same 3-point
Okay, so it's now Fate's turn to attack. I actually like this setup because if you're gonna run the Zarya comp, you probably want the Symmetra to do TPU to high ground, but then where's the Genji? Like this current setup means that they're gonna swap to the High's gonna swap to the Genji after sending their teammates to the high ground. But right now, I think what would be a better setup would be that having a Genji and a Symmetra, so that Fade can just outmaneuver NGU-K and get positional advantage. But right now, I think they're having a little bit more emphasis on Shake It and probably wanting the Hanzo to make a headshot pick so that they can just rush in to the point.
There's always a room, but they actually trying Hanzo with real damage. Already 22%, hitting few marks. So up to high.
High is down again.
Lilko. Oftentimes coming up with a win against Genji 1v1, well, plus with a help of teammates, of course.
So Fade wanted to use the hotel as like a pressure point, but with High down, they're actually trapped into this little corner here, and with Kame. Kame's doing cleanup duty here, and Fade has to do total reset.
Yeah, just farming percentages here. Already 55. Before those kills, I think it was low 40s. So easy hits, and anti-nade just to delay extra. Shake It, Hajima have to stay behind the walls for a second.
So in this matchup right now, Shake It has, like, absolutely, they have to make a early pick in order for them to make anything. Yes, they went through the hotel, but they're not in a position where they can threaten people. The Zarya is isolated. Oh, but Kyron actually managed to take down Lilko, and High took down Remedy. So this is what looked like a very bad positional fight for Fade is actually a window of opportunity for them to take point.
It actually drew out the positions from NGU-K and isolated that one by one. Because some heroes, as you can see, has mobility, some don't.
So I think there might... I don't think there will be a recontest for this point. Maybe because there's only one person on the point. But definitely no. There's not going to be a contest. Maybe I think what NGU can do is that they want to contest on the arc, which Fade was not able to do when they were defending. But NGU-K should be in a prime position to defend that choke point on the arc. And Tomato has the Graviton Surge, which is very perfect for that.
2 minutes to go. Kame ready to deploy that Bob and have that perfect dynamo.
Very sneaky here.
Hanzo, the wall climb. There's Bob early on.
Bob contesting the point as well, and also a good Graviton Surge on the side of Tomato.
About the DPS, Fade took so much work. The DPS are cut off. Kame, Lilko gone from the ground.
Shake It is down.
Okay.
Tomato, and High is down
Maui.
as well. Tomato at 96%. There's 3 DPS players on this team right now. Tomato is the third.
Yeah, just the tank and the supports were able to pick 2 kills with no help of the DPS whatsoever. But still, in terms of pushing power and the respawn, slightly faster for Fade. The NGU-K pushed all the way back to the side corner.
NGU-K is forced to concede a little bit of ground. However, Lilko has that Dragon Blade, but it is shut down.
That's painful. And that will stick in your brain. Some mental damage right there. As Lilko, even with the anti, just strikes in. Not being scared of anything because you've got your teammates right next to you.
So Lilko and High pulled out the Dragon Blade almost at the same time. But if I remember correctly, Maui just popped the rally, like, first frame response and used the stun to take out High immediately out of the picture. And after that, you just don't win those kind of fights.
Yeah, the whip, a little too powerful. As once you land that on a Genji, you know that it's coming too.
Tomato using the Graviton Surge and is... Oh, Tomato is on high energy the entirety of the map. And what can you do against the Zarya that has a bubble, has a shield, and also has high DPS output? Maybe it takes a Nano Genji to maybe zone them out.
Nano Genji, but no blade. Still needs a...
High is applying pressure,
Now
but
Tomato
has the Nano, so who's the stronger one now? But there's the pause.
Way too much energy. We need a break.
That's
way too much energy.
That's a little bit power
Let's
overwhelming.
Let's go on an economical saving mode for now because we were running sports mode and it was way too fast. Of course, yeah. Game pause for some technical issues.
We'll definitely hear from production from what the issue is, but I will just use this as an opportunity to kind of cap what this match is kind of about right now. Right now, both teams were running on similar composition, the identical compositions in fact. So their win conditions are pretty much the same. They want to send their Genji forward. They want the Genji to farm energy for the Zarya, and right now, both High and Loco are able to farm energy for the Zarya, but the difference between these two teams are that High is just dying after getting that bubble, and yes, so Karen Zarya does have a lot of energy, but they lose High in the process. But for NGU-K, not only does Loco's Genji farm energy for Tomato's Zarya, Loco not just survives as well, but also picks up a kill or two. So that makes it so easier for NGU-K to win any sort of fights.
Loco's Genji play today has been absolutely amazing. Hope and Kame, they had really good DPS. Even before Loco came in, we were giving a lot of compliments to the other two. And then now, when it's time for Genji, which is kind of amazing because we're now playing King's Row, and both teams somehow decided that, okay, we're just going to run Genji Zarya, which is supposed to be weaker on this map, but I don't care. And for sure, I think in terms of like, if you count like 1v1 score between the two Genjis, I think it's nearly like 6-3, of course, in favor of Loco.
So, we're back in the game. I am assuming that because Kame, yes, they did change to the Echo, but I think it was a disconnection issue from Kame because Kame's ult charge is reset.
Yeah, because Kame did play Echo a minute ago, so
NGU-K has to
early Bob
has to concede a little bit
to put them into the corner. NGU-K, but you've got the extra bubble, you got the Bridget, so you have a lot to cover from the back line.
Fade with the early aggression takes down 3 members of NGU-K, so they should be able to cap point B. So good early aggression to Kyren here because NGU-K had a lot of ultimates on their own as well. They had the Dragon Blade, they had the Graviton Surge. They also have both support ultimates coming up. So good catch from Fade because they knew that if both support ultimates were going to be online very momentarily after NGU-K, it would have been a losing fight for them.
217, but still not a bad time to push all the way. Of course, not too much because it is King's Row for the final point. But Fade, in terms of their pushing power and the momentum so far, they can make it possible. There's that
Nano Blade. Who's going to be the target?
Okay, so in terms of distance, I don't think further kills should be happening. HYE High can certainly respond back. They do have their own Nano Blade.
But Tomato knows this, and they're just what a good Graviton Surge. However, Kame falls, Remedy falls.
And the stun? Oh, High just could not deliver anything. The Nano wasted.
However, multiple members of NGU-K down. High did fall, so the Nano Blade did not have a lot of value. However, the fight is won on the side of Fade. NGU-K is conceding a little bit of more ground. It looks like it's going to be a final touch for the side of NGU-K. They do definitely have the tools. Kame has the duplicate, so probably I think it's going to be on the Zarya. The duplicate on Zarya is actually pretty nasty. Maybe they don't even need it.
Okay, Kame, double Zarya.
So they do. Double Zarya is disgusting.
Genji solo and eventually taken down, so With Shaking gone, Fade won't be able to push all the way. Now less than a minute left for them to push with basically no ultimates except for that Graviton coming real soon.
Yeah, so Karin's Graviton Surge is going to be very, very pivotal if Fade wants to win this map here. Because because maybe if the fight goes long enough, Tomato will be answering with the Graviton Surge of his own, but I think in 20 seconds, I think this is like the window where Fade will be having exclusively the Graviton Surge of their own.
Okay, Kame, Nuko switching to Widow, Tracer comp. And High having an easier time, of course, with the Graviton. Took some time actually to grab the kill, so in the mid time.
Yeah, so Graviton Surge was able to catch out Kame, but it took them so long that multiple members of Fade are falling.
No, Graviton on point, and that's it. No more Fade members. And NGU-K, they have done it 3-2 on Hybrid Kings Row.
Wow. So yes, I think it was a great opportunity. The Fade had their chance. Kyron exclusively had the Graviton Surge for a while, and like I said, it had to take a long time. As long as the fight didn't go long enough, Tomato would not have time to get that Graviton Surge of their own, but it took a little bit too long for Fade to take out Hope's Widowmaker, and then in the end, as a result, Hope stalled enough time for Tomato to get and Graviton Surge of their own, and that's where things got turned away.
Yeah, or Kame could have been on that Widow, I think, too. So regardless, it took it took way too much. I also thought it should be a kill the moment we saw that screen, but for some reason must have got some good heals coming from the supports.
Probably
was able to survive like 1.52 seconds extra, which I thought was just enough time for for the rest of the team to do extra work.
Yeah, so 1 or 2 seconds may not seem like a long time, but it can be the difference between loss and defeat. And this comes back to the question: if Fade wanted to use the Zarya composition as well, then I don't know. This like map pick from Kings Row is a little bit questionable, but let's see if Fade can figure out something after this break.
Still no Blizzard World, so that's still up in the air for us. We will ever have one until the end of the day, but still 2-0 score. Let's find out what the next map will be soon. And welcome back, everyone. The name of the game so far in this match has been High Energy Zarya, Zero Energy Zarya with no bubble. and this later part sounds terrible. First part sounds terrifying. And that's Zarya for you right now in the meta. And a lot of the tank players, sometimes some players having some trouble playing that Zarya, not even actually playing the hero first of all, or playing it magnificently. So your DPS or the other supports in trouble will be always having that extra shield, the bubble on you. That's the trust that you need to have on the team. And even from the feedbacks that I had from the players a long time ago in Apex, they were always saying, Zarya, you need better calls. Do you have the bubble? You always scream out yes, and then you just go in.
Yeah, remember, I think that's a really valid point. Even when I was at the New York Excelsior a long time ago. Now, it's a long time ago now, but...
You're old now.
Oh, yeah.
Surely.
But I had the honor of, being with Kalios, who is actually really famous for his Zarya. And usually when it's a Zarya play, then the Zarya is the key to the communication of any team, because you need to know when your cooldown, you need to let the entire team know where your cooldowns are, whether you have line of sight, and then so usually, hey, it's kind of like the Pokemon trainer where you just say, hey, go Genji, I can cover for you.
And it also needs to be quick. It's literally just words. Bubble, 5 seconds. So it means it's bubble ready, it'll be ready in 5 seconds. Yeah, the communication is so quick because it's right before the fight. You just don't have that much time.
Exactly, and when you're actually inside a fight, there will be so many comms coming out that it might be just lost in the echo. But we're going to Sorvasa, and we also have a change, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I'm seeing Hope instead of...
Hope is back with the soldier, so Luko out, which means they're not playing Genji.
Yes, exactly.
From a NGU-K side. Fate still keeping up.
So this is going to be the familiar matchup that we're finally seeing of what we saw in Contenders Korea. This is going to be the Orisa matchup, Orisa composition versus the Zarya composition. So NGU-K they have the confidence that they are the better team right now. So they want to outrange Fade and they want to fight on their own terms. While Fade, they want to rush in to
look
NGU-K's
at the HP
face.
bars on Fade. Somewhat dangerous moments. Yes, I'm ready for that teleporter to be seen. Oh, not even needed.
So this is exactly what NGU-K wants to do. They want to damage Fade. They want to take out Fade so that they are discouraged from going in. And if keeping a safe distance means that NGU-K can be the only one harming Fade and not the other way around.
Oh man, the Helix. Those brackets spinning around reminds me of a beautiful game.
Oh no, we
Yeah,
do not
shake
talk
it.
about that.
Shake it, shake it. Continuing to go forward here as Fade. They're losing so much HP even during the rotation.
Exactly, so they're falling on, so that means NGU-K is executing their game plan to perfection right now. Look at High already at half HP. Kyron pressured as well, so they need to press S instead of W.
Yeah, needs to go back. At least, Kenji's deflecting okay.
But you can't deflect forever, my friend.
Might have stepped a little too far on that.
Remedy falling down, but it's still a numbers advantage on the side of NGU-K. And at 85%, this is going to be final fight territory for at least this point. With Kyron gone, I think it's going to be curtains for point A, and NGU-K. Depending on where the next point is going to be, they might actually even have the rotational advantage because they have the Symmetra.
Yeah, there's that teleporter. Making them easy.
Exactly. NGU-K is going to have positional advantage on the second point as well. So they will be waiting for Fade to come. And they also have key ultimates online, the Photon Barrier there to nullify any, if not all,
a lot of those pokes.
And the threatens, even on close range as well, they can just wall play.
See? Fade. Nano up first, early on, but finds no target, no blade available, and Shake It goes down, no overclock used.
Wait, that's also the sound barrier used as well, so both support ultimates expended without any kills. So NGU-K, they used both of their support ultimates as well, but they will definitely be feeling better here because they still have 3 ultimates on the bank.
Huge miscommunication moment from Fade, certainly, as that blade was nowhere to be close to it. Or maybe the Genji might have stole that Nano, because it was certainly looking better for Shake It to actually use that overclock with the Nano. But finally, they will have both ultimates, but slightly still better. Oh, there it is. Blade early
High
on.
with the blade, but very low, taken down, and Shake It. It's not even given an opportunity to press that Q button as Hope with the tactical visor takes down Shake It, and also Kyron's taken down by Tomato, so yet another fight win for NGU-K. And it was an economical one. It was a very cheap fight win as well because NGU-K G-Clef only used the tactical visor.
Not that expensive. And
at all.
also was able to keep that blade quite minimal, just a single kill, I believe. But still Shake It holding that overclock. There it is. Can you make that into a kill from distance?
But Shake It was pressured so much and was very low, so I don't think Shake It had the opportunity to do much more damage. And yes, Kyron uses the Graviton Surge, but it looks like Tomato is winning the tank ultimate value
99%.
fight here.
Oh man, the team wipe. It's a matter of seconds. NGU-K breaking the doors everywhere. Fade. Oh man, in terms of rotation, this will be even tougher. NGU-K, certainly it is a longer distance for them and a quicker response for Fade for this flashpoint, but still.
Make them regret.
Yeah,
I think that fight should have slightly more went for Fade, at least grabbing few kills with that many resources dropped.
Exactly. So Fade, even while they're committing a lot of resources, like you said, G-Clef, even like the bubble Zarya bubbles, maybe even the ults, they are losing fights where NGU-K, when NGU-K is using equal or less resources. So this is going to be pretty much of a problem right now. Maybe it's a confidence issue, but Fade, if they want to start this reverse sweep coming, they have to start now.
Remedy early captain. Sun use, so and no further kills from that moment, so Fade should be happy about that. Not really.
Shake it down
no.
in the neutral fight. This means Fade has to reset. Hai cannot afford to be staggered here. Very, very low.
It was actually the worst moment because Hook was also sleep darted for quite a while. The moment you don't have the DPS, they lost the DPS. Okay, Barrier catching 4.
Good immortality
And
field, and that is followed up by the tactical visor. Yes, it does not find any kills. However, it is enough to discourage Fade and send them back all the way to regroup. Tomato taking a lot of damage, but it does not fall. He is the Orisa after all, and with 96% on the Terra Surge and 77% and counting, this may be the last fight for Fade.
And Hai, you have to come up big. The field is taken out after so many slashes. Okay, the entire team actually is able to grab a lot more from the side this time, but NGU-K actually holding all the ultimates, so not as bad. Still, you got 2 points already, 99%. So I think it's time for savings account.
Yeah, Fade should. It's like, despite using that Dragon Blade for the attack on the point, they still have 3 key ultimates remaining, so it should be an advantageous fight for Fade. If on NGU-K side of things, they can just afford to lose one more fight, but they are opening with the Photon Barrier. They are confident that they can win this. Shake It is very low, but it's not taken down, so it takes
visor?
2 kills.
Okay, great start for Fade. NGU-K should be waiting, but Photon Barrier already used. So, might be regretting that a little bit as the pair-up didn't really line up together to be beautiful for NGU-K. But still, nothing to worry about as they do have Symmetra. The rotation seems to be very quick to come back. Might still be able to contest for just, again, 77%.
So, Fade still has the Graviton Surge. They need to make this worth
Teleport.
it. Oh, that was a long range
block!
But
They
it was
actually make it work.
still... Yeah, it wasn't blocked by the Orisa.
3%. And
But
Tomato.
several kills coming on the side of NGU-K.
oh, Hope ran for this.
Wait a second,
Oh,
you guys need to be at the point.
someone just touched the point and Fade with overtime cannot respond, and that is going to be a huge victory for NGU-K. Another 3-0 of the night as Fade did not have enough powers in their gauge to actually stop NGU-K's crap power from moving on to the next round of lower bracket.
I'm really impressed with what NGU-K was able to display today, because they were. I can see that this meta. I don't know if it's just the meta or that if it's their preparation, but it looks like a lot of the issues that they were displaying last week have been covered up. I don't know, maybe it's just because they were playing against Staff last week and maybe they were playing against a little bit more of a comfortable opponent, but it looks like a lot of the communication issues that they have been suffering from is resolved. And what I'm really impressed about, G-Clef, is that they showcased they showcased every DPS player except KA94, and all of them impressed me.
Yeah, also on the other side, Shake It and Hajima, I've seen some brilliant moments coming out from Fade. So maybe next time for the future, maybe they can show a brighter side. For NGU-K, the winner, it's really hard to choose the POTM because I think there were lots of great moments coming from all the DPS, Tomato, and also all the supports covering up for each other. So
exactly.
I wonder who it's going to be. Okay.
It looks like, I mean, I guess it was entirely like a good team performance overall, right? Yes, we talked about the DPS. And we also have to credit Tomato as well. Like, the Zarya play, predominantly the Zarya, maybe, yes, he did play Orisa on Sorvasa, but mostly the Zarya today. But I think he was really good in both picks.
Yeah, I think as a tank was certainly holding the pillar to keep all the supports in the DPS line in the middle. And we will see who the player is. And it is indeed Tomato, the player that we were just talking about. First, starting with Sigma, Orisa, Zarya, whichever hero
he
this
also
guy
played the Sigma. Wow, that's quite a broad. I think so. He knows how to play all the heroes that is actually viable in the meta. Maybe Reinhardt if you want to count in Rein, but yeah. So we've seen a lot of good plays, and I think I haven't seen a lot of moments where Zarya was on low energy. He was always high on energy. A consistent DPS threat, whether he was on the Zarya or the Orisa, because his javelins were on point as well.
Yet, just the fact that the Nano is going to the tank means so much. I don't need to say no more on top
That's
of
how
that.
much his teammates have faith in him.
Yeah, exactly. And usually it's only when both of the DPSs are gone, but even with both DPS up, the Nano going to the tank means, okay, this guy has full trust on the team. So that will be the end of the lower bracket run for today. 6 below here, and NGU-K will be moving up next. Oh, never mind. Invincible. Excuse me there. Invincible and NGU-K will be moving up to the next round of the lower bracket, as we still have one more match moving into the upper bracket now. That will be Heaven Sent versus DAF, the hype match, the match that you guys have anticipated a lot for the final match today, as this is the winners.
Yeah, we will be having the big boys now. I mean, not discrediting any teams from the lower bracket, but I'm really excited to see the next two teams play, because they have been showing very, very dominant displays on the winners bracket so far, and only one can prevail today. Like, of course, on the third match for today, we won't be seeing anyone going home with getting eliminated from the bracket. However, whoever is going to win today has a very big advantage, because they don't have to play as much matches as the lower bracket, and they can just observe. They have more time to research. They have more time to observe how their potential opponents play, and also they can. Because this is a new patch for them, like getting that at least one more bye day can be very crucial in that preparation.
Yeah, they do have to send it up. So that's going to be the next match coming up. As you have said it, Heaven Sent versus DAF will be the winners match, and that winning team will be going straight into that grand final for APAC. Let's find out who that team will be. But before that, let's take a small break, and when we come back, that winners.